Hello everyone and welcome to the Daily HUD where we give you the latest esports news. I'm Sierra.
And I am Dom, and I swear we're not going to talk about Endgame. Well, at least not in the way you expect. And even then, we're not going to be talking about spoilers. Well, not in the way that, whatever. In today's coverage, we're going to be taking a look at the NBA 2K League, talking about Rick Fox's imminent departure from the Echo Fox organization, the Northwest Majors so far into Tekken and looking into Street Fighter, the Overwatch League Dallas homestand, and announcements on the Overwatch World Cup. We're looking at the Madden Bowl, CSGO Pro League, the Fortnite Online Open, Persona 5's most recently announced Scramble for the Switch, Mortal Kombat 11, finally some controversy on the information of Endgame spoilers, in that we mean to prepare you what to look for so that you don't get spoiled. And finally, Magic the Gathering's War of the Spark release and the Mythic Invitational #2 happening this weekend.
Wow, we have a lot of
stuff.
coverage, John. This week on the Overwatch League, the Dallas homestead will go underway this Saturday, and looking at the schedule for this weekend, it looks like it's going to be an exciting event for these matches.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat for it because I am from Dallas originally,
Right.
And
You've
the
got
Allen
some home
Center wasn't that
teams.
far from where I came from. Now, some of the undefeated teams have already dropped a handful of games in the Overwatch League. We're now going to turn our attention back towards those bottom of the table teams happening in this new venue with a different crowd, but hopefully some of the same action. This week, we've got a lot of matches that could make or break these bottom standing teams. Most of our top teams won't be present during this weekend of the Overwatch League, but we're still going to be looking at some of these, like London Spitfire and the Los Angeles Valiants. The main event of this entire homestead, however, comes down to the Battle of Texas between DFW, the Dallas Fuel, and the Houston Outlaws. Yeehaw! It's bragging rights for these two home teams, and whoever makes it on top is up to them. Now, it's also been announced that the Overwatch World Cup will be returning on October 28th, happening in Anaheim, California at BlizzCon. Following previous formats, the Overwatch World Tour at the very end of the year traveled all around the world, and the finals were at BlizzCon. So it looks like we're going to see a similar format this year. In other news, Rick Fox is planning on leaving Echo Fox due to a senior member of Venture Visions, one of the investing partners of the firm, directing some racially targeted language at Jace Hall, the CEO of Echo Fox. Rick Fox, the man of the organization, the titular Fox himself, has decided to step away from Echo Fox, making a very powerful email towards the company saying that he plans on departing as soon as it is available. So looks like there's some spicy developments in esports organizations all across the globe.
I guess it's really nice to see people within the community standing up for what is right.
Yeah, and Rick Fox doing the exact same thing for standing up for his own coworkers. But hey, that's still not all. Speaking of fighting games, as Echo Fox do sponsor a handful of fighting games players, we've got some Tekken 7 news, so let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Elsewhere this weekend, the Tekken World Tour heads to its second stop in Seattle at the Northwest Majors. This will be a Challenger Tier tournament. The winner of the event will be placed in the Challenger Tier. Now, rumor has it that known veterans will be competing, such as Rip and Lil Majin.
Yep.
What's up, Lil Majin? And still some familiar faces, but more details on the Northwest Majors.
Yes, those are going to be happening this weekend as well.
Yes, I'm very excited because that is my home turf. Go PNW.
The Northwest,
The Pacific Northwest, of course. Not Washington, D.C., Washington State.
The other Washington.
Right.
The better Washington?
Yeah. I can't say so for
Sure
sure.
thing.
The Northwest Majors kick off today at GameWorks Seattle, 6 p.m. Pacific time. This is the 11th installment of the PNW's longest running fighting game competition, and the players look to be incredibly fierce, many of which are also looking for some sponsorship. The Northwest, of course, is close to my heart. Go Supersonics. How great to see some spotlight shown on the gaming community. Competitors will be playing some of the top fighting games in the world: Guilty Gear XRD, Soul Calibur 6, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Blue Blaze Cross Tag Battle, Tekken 7 as a part of their Tour Challenger event, Street Fighter V AE, and this is also a Capcom Pro Tournament North American ranking event for 2019, and not least of all, the recently released Mortal Kombat 11. A question for me remains, will players be forced to partake in the microtransactions that we've been talking so much about?
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get the chance to hear some more of that, but today is purely ceremonial. The real competition begins tomorrow, again with Guilty Gear Xrd, Mortal Kombat 11, Street Fighter V, Soul Calibur 6, Blaze Blue, Tag, and Dragon Ball FighterZ, all ending on Sunday with the grand finals of Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Blaze Blue, and Dragon Balls.
Okay, so what I'm most looking forward to this weekend is to see some skill levels of the unexpected contenders. Shout out to all of my friends, Zombu, Jay Brill, Bin Chang, Justin Wong, Cammy, Snake Eyes, and the always beautiful and fabulous Ricky Ortiz. You go get it, girl. She's one of the only faces that I saw. I love seeing women play games. So, if you don't know, Ricky is a pro Street Fighter player for the always contentious team Evil Geniuses. This is an open entry registration competition allowing players at any level to join and compete with some of the best of the best. And this is something that I really like to see when the playing field is open to those that may not be to the competitive level just yet, just like we see in our Fortnite World Cup tournament.
Exactly.
We're on week 3 of that.
Open qualifiers will kick off later this weekend for the Fortnite Online Open of the World Cup. Now, tomorrow we're seeing the return of these qualifiers. We're going back to standard solo style play, whereas last weekend we had duos, and again, the weekend before was that solo, and it will conclude with the top 3,000 players participating in the grand finals on Sunday. This is week 3 of 10 qualifiers, features $1 million on the line. We're all excited to see how it turns out. However, a lot of this tournament has been sort of lagging a little bit behind from Epic Games, recently having had to have dealt with cheaters in the tournament.
Nearly 200.
Yeah, nearly 200 prize winners were caught cheating in the first week of the Fortnite World Cup and subsequently forfeited their prizes. A large portion of these players were attempting to circumvent region locks to play in non-local regions, and in some extreme cases, even saw the use of teaming to give an unfair advantage. Now, Epic Games did make a statement saying that their anti-cheat policy seems to be getting better and more aggressive, so very loudly off the back of week 1 of the week 1 opens. So perhaps with that statement, they were hoping to scare off further individuals looking to capitalize in a similar way. Now again, all of this is happening around the most recent Fortnite limited time game mode, Endgame, in which you wield the powerful weapons of the Avengers against Thanos and the Chitauri. So even for those of you who are less competitively inclined to participate in the online opens, we've still got the limited time game mode, we've still got the creative competitive mode, but now we're going to take a break from esports and look at an announcement from the most recent Persona game, which has been revealed. Persona S, not Persona for the Switch, but instead Persona Scramble. After the announcement of Persona 5 Royal, we got a new game announced in the Dynasty Warriors genre. Koei Tecmo has made an outstanding resume on turning classics and fan favorites into Dynasty Warrior games. We've got Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, North Fist of the North Star, and a whole bunch more, and now Fire Emblem will be joining that list.
But this announcement doesn't come just as a joyous response. A number of fans have expressed their disappointment that this is the Persona game that will be coming to Switch instead of a Persona 5 port, but a P5 Scramble has been well received overall, but fans are still awaiting that Persona 5 Switch. Option.
The long story short is that the rumor has been that it's just going to be Persona 5 for Switch for such a long time. Now the rumor is finally fact, and we know it's not just going to be Persona 5 for Switch, it's going to be a different game entirely. But hey, there's no release date yet, but that's still something to look forward to. Again, hopefully we're looking to see if there is going to be an announcement towards an actual Persona 5. Elsewhere, we're also still waiting for
Grand Theft Auto.
Yes, there are rumors circling that Grand Theft Auto 6 is currently in development. One Bibbin Michael, a previous Rockstar employee, has semi-confirmed that in his resume that has been put out to the public, that he worked on the realization of realistic videos for Grand Theft Auto 5 DLC and Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, he's been all over the place in terms of companies. He's worked for Formula One. He is a developer in Mumbai in India. So it's entirely conceivable that Rockstar Games has just licensed out to different companies around the world to render and model vehicles for use in these games. just
Right.
because he claims, this one developer in India claims to have worked on a car for Grand Theft Auto 6, is not necessarily confirmation that the game is in development. However, it does get some wheels turning, not the literal wheels of the car, but perhaps we could finally see a return towards that Grand Theft Auto 5 genre.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I'm looking forward to playing again in Vice City. I
don't know.
really
We don't know
love
where it
Grand
could
Theft
go
Auto.
because the most recent one was set in Southern California, which is where I am from most recently. So it was always super surreal driving around in real life and then seeing a truck.
streets
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
and then
same
being
trucks.
like, I'm gonna ramp off of that and start accelerating. I'm like, wait, this is real life. Let's not do that.
Don't do that.
So I wonder where we're gonna end up going next. Is it gonna be San Francisco? Is it gonna be something like, I don't know, Denver? Is Denver in Colorado? I don't actually know. I'm just listing
of course.
cities now.
It would be nice to see New York, but I know that we had Toronto,
Yeah, we had
right?
Liberty
So,
City
yeah.
before that was sort of New York,
Right.
kind of. I don't know.
Let's
but
go European.
They're getting
Let's
a lot
drive
better.
those
Yeah,
back
we could
roads,
see
those Italian
European-
back roads.
Oh my god,
That
I
would
don't
be
even know
pretty
how
fun.
that would work in Grand Theft Auto, which is so stereotypically just America style of games, but that would be
Drive
absolutely
fast
fascinating. If
in
we could have
Italy.
Grand Theft Auto in like Paris.
Yeah.
Or maybe even London or something. Who knows? But let us know who you think
Extra
or where
points
you
for
think.
hitting the yellow vest, right, in the game? No,
Exactly.
No.
But let us know where you think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be in the comments below. But now we've got to get back to some more esports coverage.
Okay, and if you haven't heard enough from us about the Rainbow Six Pro League, we've got a little bit more to tell you. It finally kicks off with the final matches for the EU region. This game starts at 1 p.m. Eastern with Penta Esports challenging Slim, Team Secret against Team Chaos, and then Navi take the stage against G2, and Mouse looks to go head-to-head with Team Empire. We already knew that Team Empire and Stream Esports would be advancing to the Rainbow Six Grand Finals, and it may be out of the European region as they've looked in enough points to advance enough without playing these games today. But we still hope to see some compelling games.
Yeah, and we've
even
been
though
talking
they're
about
secured.
it a whole bunch. Hopefully we'll still get some action-packed matches from these games on their last week of the season. But hey, now we've got to talk about Avengers Endgame. We're not spoiling it for you. We're protecting you from
Yes.
spoilers.
We are the warners.
Exactly. There's a very aggressive community of people right now who are trolling and trying to get spoilers across to just about any platform. So, highly recommend you avoid social media at all costs. You already know this. But if you do use social media, trolls are using bait and switch GIFs to pull people in. They start off with images entirely unrelated to Avengers Endgame, and about 1 or 2 seconds in, after the initial preview of the GIF gets out of the way,
They
it
give it
jumps
away.
into a leaked or perhaps a cam version of a very important moment in Avengers Endgame.
This is
So,
bringing a new level to catfishing,
Yeah,
really,
it's-
in a
it's-
way.
it
And
really
how
is.
tricky.
It's-
That's not fun.
Again, we've seen a whole bunch of different ones. We've seen planes landing sideways going into spoilers. We've seen Wonder Woman going into Avengers. There's a whole bunch of really, really tricky Avengers Endgame spoilers out there in GIF format, in video format, in text format. If you want to see the movie unspoiled and you have not yet, highly recommend you avoid social media at all costs or only go to trusted sources that you know you can verify. But still, there is a lot of stuff for us to cover.
Get out there and
Hopefully-
see that movie so
Yeah.
then you don't have to be spoiled so much. It was a wonderful
Yeah,
experience.
it's-
It was really, really fun. So I recommend
awesome.
anyone to join. It's
Super
a
good. But
great
hey,
movie.
again, please try to avoid spoilers and know that other people are going out of their way, especially with Endgame, to try and
spoil.
spoil it. Yeah. So now we get to turn our attention away from something so negative and, well, I guess positive depending on whether or not you think of the movie being good, but the spoilers being negative. Now we get to look towards the NBA 2K League, which again continued with day 2 yesterday and will end later today. So let's take a look at yesterday's results.
Over there in the NBA esports world, Mavs Gaming are still the #1 team in the standings, and with their most recent win against Heat Check Gaming, they now climb to the top 5-0 in the standings. After that premier game, we had the Celtics against the 76ers, with the 76ers smashing the Celtics. The Knicks had challenged the defeated the Pistons GT, and in the final match of the day, Raptors Uprising popped off against Net SGC. Tonight features a full docket of games with the 5 full matches to get us through the end of the week 3. First, it's the Cavs against the Blazers, then the Celtics return to challenge Kingsguard Gaming. After that, the Cavs are back, taking on the Pistons. Blazers return to the court for our 4th game against Net SCG, and it close out the week, the Kingsguard Gaming against the 76ers. Our match this week to watch is Blazers against Net SGC, as it holds the highest stakes in the standings. Those games will all start at 6 p.m. Eastern, so be sure to tune in.
And now this weekend we'll also see a return of professional MTG, Magic the Gathering play, as the MTG Pro Tour resumes in London this weekend. The prize pool this time is a cool $500,000, and the tournament will be running starting today, the 26th, and running through until the 28th. The tournament features a modern format and a War of the Spark booster draft to build some hype for the upcoming set of cards. It's already dropped in MTG Arena. I've got my own handful of Planeswalkers that I'm building my own deck out. But if you're interested in following competitively, Esports has a spectacular list of players to watch during this Mythic Championship 2 if you're unfamiliar with them. And we'll have a link to that down below in the doobly-doo. And while I may not have time to watch the games live as they're happening, because I'm probably going to be going to my own pre-release draft later this weekend, you can be sure that we will be reporting on the results of this championship Monday when we return. So now, with all of that out of the way, Sierra, we turn towards the Madden Bowl.
Yesterday, we saw the beginning of the Madden Bowl 2019, if the NBA isn't really your thing. 16 players all flew out to Redwood City, California to compete for a $200,000. Skimbo played against 6 Cents and won to advance to the quarterfinals, where he'll play against Canes. On the bottom side of the same bracket, Pavin crushed Crush in a 28-10 affair. Pavin will advance to play against Spoto later today, where we'll also fill out the rest of the quarterfinals bracket. We'll be filling out of the rest of the updates as the tournament concludes over the weekend, so keep your brackets ready.
Now elsewhere, the CSGO Pro League finally wrapped up its Group D matches. In Europe, Hellraisers played against EX3D Max and nabbed their second series win to secure second place in the group. Afterwards, Astralis played against Team Big, and though they won, it was a 2-1, showing Astralis' first loss in the group stages on a map. Now, again, as Astralis' first map loss in the ESL Pro League, the series was exceptionally close, with Astralis taking map 1 on Dust 2. Map 2 went the distance, even seeing teams go into tiebreaker, and ultimately ended with Big Gaming claiming Inferno at 19-17 in those rounds. Finally, in the last match of the series, Astralis were able to clinch the win at a 16-14 game against Big on Overpass, barely a few inches away from dropping and tying to go 2-1 and fall into the middle of the group of the tiebreakers against Hellraisers and Big. So still some very big excitement happening in the ESL Pro League as that wraps up in the European region. But now we get to look back towards our favorite thing to talk about, Mortal Kombat.
Yep. Turning our attention to the ubiquitous Mortal Kombat 11. News from the company states that they will be working on adjusting health and damage values, but have not discussed their drop rates. Public opinion of the game has also been lagging in the polls. The lowest score we found was a 1.8 from PC users. Though a break for a game that was heavily campaigned, I think we even had Pete Davidson on Jimmy Kimmel promoting the game along with some swanky new kicks. Critics are still reviewing the game positively, and the company is taking note of the players' response.
Yeah, Kimmel or Fallon?
Oh, Fallon.
Yes, that's the one. And again, these damage values that they are adjusting are in those end game towers. So what the developers have said is that we know that it is too difficult, there's too high a gap from completing the campaign to completing those difficulty towers. They're reducing the damage and health values of those enemies. They have not yet confirmed whether or not they are going to increase the drop rates as well to close the gap from both directions. So
a little bit of whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
After the game has been released.
Yeah,
it still seems they can put it all together and give it to Japan in time. I'm still rooting for Japan.
When the censored version comes out, maybe. It still seems a little bit like they're playing catch-up, and they didn't expect the fan reaction to be so vitriolic. However, it's still being positively reviewed by critics. People who play the game outside of those towers are saying that they enjoy it. And in addition, yesterday we also saw that people were saying there was $6,500 worth of content that you had to purchase over a long period of time. Well, now that has been clarified. A significant majority of that content you cannot actually purchase. You have to unlock by playing the game, just like fighting games of old. So it seems as though we might have gotten up into an angry hype storm of anger and disappointment and, oh, DLC and microtransactions, when it turns out maybe it was just the difficulty was a little too high, and that's what people were mad about. I don't know. We'll have to see how this shakes out over the course of the weekend and see how Mortal Kombat does at the Northwest Majors, which looks to be the first premier fighting tournament to feature the game itself. So we'll be keeping tabs on that for this weekend. And let us know what you think in the comments.
Have you played this Mortal Kombat 11?
Yeah.
We should be playing it soon.
Absolutely.
I'm a little nervous.
Are they plugging the holes too late into the cracks in the dam?
Yeah.
Or perhaps they just expected fan reaction to not be so vitriolic?
Maybe they thought the players would be better.
Exactly. Maybe they thought people would be able to challenge those tires. Let us know down in the comments below and we'll take a look at that. But I believe that's all our coverage for today.
Yes, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. Today is Friday, so we'll see you again on Monday or next week. I am Sierra. Please send us your videos and your comments.
Yes.
This is my friend. We still...
Mod. I am Mod. M-O-D. Yes, you can find my information down in the description below. But as you said, send us your highlights and bloopers down to info@esportschannel.com. We're also going to be streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/esports_channel. And on behalf of myself and the entire Esports Channel crew, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Have a good weekend. GG.
GG. Be safe out there.